Looking back, 1934, a peek into the past. America Outdoors in 1934. A homeless family trying to hitch a ride. In 1934, many Americans were on the move. Some people started traveling when they lost their jobs and their homes because of the Depression. They packed all their belongings into their cars and went in search of new jobs and new places to settle. Other people, like Kit's friend Will, hopped onto freight trains and rode in empty boxcars in search of jobs and adventure. These travelers were known as hoboes. They rode the rails or traveled by train, often with only a bedroll and the clothes they wore. Hopping freights was illegal and dangerous. Many people were injured and some even lost their lives doing it, but most couldn't afford to travel any other way. Others simply preferred it, thrilling to the adventure of life on the open road. Sitting in a boxcar doorway was dangerous, even when a train was moving slowly. During the 1930s, more than 250,000 hobos rode the rails. Some people were afraid of hobos and called them tramps or bums. But to those who lived on the road, there were important differences. As one hobo described it, a hobo is a person who travels to work, a tramp is a person who travels and won't work, and a bum is a person who won't travel or work. Hobos often didn't like tramps and bums because of their unwillingness to work, which gave them all a bad reputation. Most hobos were men or boys, but girls, women, and even whole families hopped trains to find jobs or to get to another town. When a train pulled into a new town, the hobos hopped off and started looking for work. If there were no jobs, they sometimes knocked on doors to ask for food in exchange for doing chores. Like Will, most hobos brought food back to the jungles, the hobo camps near rail yards. There, they added to the large pots of stew that everyone in the jungle shared. Sometimes there was lots of food and the hobos ate well, but other times there was barely enough to go around. Most girls who rode the rails felt safer disguised as boys. Getting ready for dinner in a hobo jungle. Even though hobos helped each other and often found a special sort of community in the jungles, hobo life was harsh and gritty. For many, riding the rails was the only way to find work during the Depression. And while some hobos spent only a short time on the road, others spent years traveling all around America, even after the end of the Depression. There were other ways to travel for those who could afford it. People with money could travel by car, train, bus, or even by plane. Air travel was new and still rough in the 1930s. A plane's vibrations could shake a passenger's glasses off his or her nose and cause airplane seats, which weren't fastened down, to slide about. In 1933, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt flew with pilot Amelia Earhart to show the public that airplane travel was safe. Airline companies use advertisements to reassure passengers of the safety and comfort of airline travel. Americans who stayed closer to home enjoyed many activities that brought welcome distraction from the Depression. Instead of going away on vacation, as they had before hard times hit, people gathered at home or went to local parks to enjoy family picnics, games and sports, and other outdoor activities. Girls found ways to have fun with their friends in spite of the hard times. In cities with professional baseball teams, such as Cincinnati, people could forget their troubles for a few hours at a ball game. Miniature golf and drive-in movies also started in the 1930s and quickly grew in popularity. Miniature golf was first called midget golf. However, as the Depression got worse, many communities started to run out of money to build and maintain parks and recreation areas, even though the need for free recreation soared. In Racine, Wisconsin, as well as in many other cities, boys had to play baseball in streets or alleys because park and school baseball diamonds were in constant use by unemployed adult men. A street baseball game. one of the 1,300 CCC camps set up by June 1933. The increased need for parks and recreation areas were answered in part by one of the many programs started by President Franklin Roosevelt. Within 4 weeks of becoming president in March 1933, Roosevelt created the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC, which put thousands of men to work building and improving parks, planting trees, digging ditches, improving streams, and fighting fires. CCC ditch diggers. The CCC was made up of young the government created posters to advertise the CCC. The CCC was made up of young unmarried men between the ages of 18 and 25. Boys like Kit's brother Charlie were sent to outdoor work camps all over the country where they earned $30 per month, 25 of which they had to send home to their families. Roosevelt had 3 goals in sending these young men from the cities to the countryside. He wanted to provide training and employment for America's youth, much needed money for their families at home, and a way to conserve and restore America's natural resources. Men who enrolled received hats, pens, and booklets describing the CCC. In the beginning, enrollment in the CCC was limited to 6 months, but Roosevelt later authorized re-enrollment to those who wanted to remain in the Corps. During the first year, the CCC put 293,000 young men to work. When the program ended in the early 1940s, more than 3 million men had joined the CCC. It was one of Roosevelt's most popular programs. The next time you go to a state or national park, look for a CCC marker. Think about the young men like Charlie who, through their work for the CCC, improved and protected America's natural areas and gave people like his family hope that America would pull itself out of the Depression. CCC workers, President Roosevelt seated in center, and the men who created the CCC celebrated the signing of papers that authorized re-enrollment in the Corps.